Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. No, that's not an oxymoron. And welcome to my Monday broadcast. So if you're tuning in, please do say hello in the chat and I'll get to give you a shout out. I can't figure out time on my phone at the same time as broadcasting. So I think we're pretty close. There we go. We're pretty close to live time. Super grateful that technology works, that there's a way to stay in touch with all of my virtual happiness supporters on Facebook Live now, on YouTube Live now, and then at 10:30 on my Instagram Live, IGTV, for those in that generation. So for those of you who just accidentally found me, I am Dr. Marissa. And by education, I'm an organizational psychologist. By experience, I'm a happiness coach. I'm a happiness splatterer, largely due to my best-selling book called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. And so I normally do a broadcast on Fridays out of my CNBC NBC station, and that's usually a guest show where I bring people on. Last week we talked about Asian American hate. The week before we talked about Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So things that are pretty important for you to consider. And then I've had Marianne from Gilligan's Island, the beautiful Dawn Wells, 5 times on my show, as well as Corey Feldman and Fran Drescher talking about how to reduce the risk of cancer. So it's a great show on Fridays. But I was approached by several people, including Stephen Factor, who said it would be nice to have you accessible for more of an interaction. So that's how the Monday motivation was born. It used to be called Monday is the New Friday because I wanted to be a cheerleader to not hate Mondays. And that was hashtag BC19, the time before COVID. But now it's called Mind Your Own Business with Dr. Marissa because it is easy during this time to get caught up in everybody else's business, even more so than it used to be. So because of all the things on the docket between vaccinations and masks and pandemic and conspiracy theories and all the hate that's going on, Asian American, the George Floyd and the trial that's going on now, all of the examples of ways in which things are not working. And we definitely want to focus on what's not working. But at the same time, the only thing you can really change is the buck stops right over here. And so I wanted us to have some time to focus on things that we can control, which is us, our mind, our hearts, our choices, our focus. And so that's why we're doing this now. All right. So as per usual, when we start these broadcasts, if you could breathe in with me, taking a deep breath in through the nose and releasing, soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. Another deep breath in and releasing all the stories and the drama. And one last deep breath in. Connecting with me through Chi, eternal energy, the breath of life that connects us all, no matter where we are, knowing that every breath that I take doesn't take from you, and we share that breath. We share that breath of life. In Mandarin, it's Chi, eternal energy. Some of you know me as the balanced Tai Chi Gong instructor, where I take Tai Chi and Qi Gong together to help you connect to that energy. All right. So what are we talking about today? Well, I thought, I always say what now, brown cow, when it comes to picking topics. And during meditation, the thought that came was quit blaming others. So that's the topic we're talking about today, because it is a surefire way of leaving you unhappy. When you focus your attention on people, places, and things that you think are making you unhappy, you're automatically giving away your choice power, which is the strongest tool you have in life. So it's easy. We're raised in family systems where, if you would do this, it would make me happy. If you wouldn't do this, it would make me happy. So you grow up thinking that you have some control over other people's happiness, and you abdicate your own ability to generate and manufacture your own happiness on those people around you. And when you're not happy, it's their fault. You, and everybody knows pointing finger at you. There's 3 fingers here pointing back at me. So I'm going to talk about a concept called justified indignation. So it goes along with blame. So you can say, I am unhappy. I spent decades saying, I'm unhappy because I had a shitty childhood. I'm unhappy because I was raised by someone who should have loved me, who should have complimented me, who should have said nice things about me. That's what moms do. And because I didn't get that growing up, then I am unhappy. And I have not had um, uh, the normal childhood to give me the break that I needed to have a happy life. And that is the blame song, the blame game, the blame and shame game that many of us who've had childhood trauma play. That's 7 out of 10 of us, according to the statistics. My honorable moniker, Oprah, says 8 out of 10. Some psychologists say it's as high as 93%. So I'm addressing those who've had similar pasts. Now, if you've had a beautiful childhood, that's beautiful and great. You're the minority. And I'm not taking that away from you. But even kids who've had a so-called normal childhood have this propensity to abdicate their happiness and leave it at the feet of other people. And it's a really strong, deeply rooted BS belief system that will rob you of your happiness. And if you've just tuned in, I see some folks and eyeballs. I can't tell who you are, so please do in the comment section say hello, and that way I can have a convo with you instead of talking at you. I'd love to interact. That's what Mondays are for. All right, so that justified righteous indignation, also known as justified anger, is a normal human reaction. If someone steps on your toe, you should say ouch. There's no question about it. You don't want to, shove that down and not feel what you're feeling. If you're feeling insulted, feel insulted. If you're feeling shamed, say, I don't like that feeling. And that's so important to recognize that part of the button that got pushed. So if you don't, then you're walking around numb or apathetic. And we don't want that either. I'm okay. I'm fine. I just did an interview with another show. I've been actively asked on other people's shows now, thanks to obviously what's happening with the Stop Asian Hate, but also because I took my Happy 88 mission onto other podcast platforms. But the expression that I haven't used in a while is when you say I'm fine, it really means effed up, irrational, neurotic, and emotional. So we don't want to be walking around saying I'm fine, because we're really not. Now, on the other hand, We don't want to be uh, vomiting our reactions and vomiting our everybody has a right to my opinion uh, part of ourselves either. Those are the two extremes, right? Not reacting or not having any kind of human feeling towards things, to the other extreme of constantly reacting, knee jerk, knee jerk, knee jerk, head jerk, head jerk, to the point where you're going to hurt yourself. Literally, you're going to hurt yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. So where's the balance in this? My favorite word. Where's the middle ground in this? Well, if you have that reaction, ouch, that wasn't nice, that didn't feel good, or that's interesting. I have my life balance coaching clients, you know who you are, say things like, oh, that's interesting, even when it's not, even though you really want to just as a reaction to what is being said, to say, oh, that's interesting, let me think about that. It gives you a chance to process that feeling. And if you have righteous indignation, which is, I have every right to be angry with what you just said or did, as I did as a child, when I wasn't treated or told fat, ugly, and clumsy, I did not say anything back. And so I had years and years and years of this repressed anger and righteous indignation of how dare you. So when you begin reacting, most commonly you're going to overreact because it's been festering for a long time. So then it comes out like a full-on. You remember that movie where the squirrel that sticks his finger in each of the holes in the dam, and he tries to plug up the hole, and then all of a sudden it just, what is that? Ice Age? I think it's Ice Age. And then all of a sudden it's just like that. So that's what happens when you continue to try to plug up the little bits and not feel. So you should feel that I didn't like that. That wasn't nice. I use vent partnering as a tool to get out of that. And I'll call my vent partners and they'll put me on a timer for 2 minutes. And I'll get to say whatever I want to say to release all of that infection, the pus, the anger, because it feels horrible to keep it in. It doesn't feel that great to get it out. It does when you're done with it and you've shoveled out all of that shiitake. Then you have room then to just take the breath and fill it with something more positive. So step one, react in a safe way. Try not to like collateral damage when you're feeling the angry and righteous indignation and how dare you. And then take the breath. Choose, do I want to stay in this place of blame, or do I want to say, I have the power, I have the ability to take responsibility for what I am focusing on, thinking about, choosing to operate from. So many of us who've had that past pain drag that past pain into our present and continue to live with the song, it's all your fault. If you hadn't have done that, I would be okay. If you hadn't have said that, I wouldn't be pissed off. That, my friends, is a sure way to spend the rest of your life. You want to spend the next 40 years of your life or 50 or whatever it is, sitting in that blame game, sitting in that righteous indignation, because you may be justified in all the things. I see a couple more people signing on. Please do say hi in the chat so I can talk to you. We're talking about quit blaming others as a direct way into more happiness into your life. So righteous indignation, feel it, own it, and then choose to say, I can continue this song that puts me in a place of bitterness, resentment, unhappiness, dis-ease, grumpiness, anxiousness, waiting for the other shoe to drop. This person's going to be just like them. Or I can choose to say, that was then, and I'm going to take responsibility for me now. So can I, even though that happened, even though it was unfair, even though it was wrong, can I say, people really do the best that they can with the time they have, the resources they have, and where they are. And when it comes to child trauma, most often parents are reliving their own non-education of how to parent. That's been my experience. You may say, oh no, they knew better. They shouldn't have done. There's no excuses for that. They absolutely, need to be blamed for the rest of my lifetime. I just don't want anything to do with them. I don't want to talk to them. Blah, blah, blah. And you can do that. But that also closes you off from being open to anything that is outside of that BS. Because by dragging that anger, dragging that resentment, dragging that hostility into your present will absolutely give you more frown lines, give you acid indigestion, give you an FU exterior, a suspicious, a suspicious nature, all things that will rob you of being happy 88% of the time. So, have I convinced you? Just experiment with it. If there's, I do a meditation, a guided meditation with people who are ready to cut that rope to the raft of protection that they built when they were young. You needed to build a raft when you were young to navigate the treacherous waters. But now there's no water, but you're still carrying that raft on your back, which is super heavy. So many folks, and thank you for messaging in with that. The book that I wrote is not from a point of a psychologist telling you how to be happy. The book is chocked full with exercises that I have used on myself in order to be happy 88% of the time, specifically geared to the majority of us who've had childhood trauma. So if you're a person who is not just experiencing pandemic fatigue, but you're just tired with life, then I would invite you to look at what is bogging you down. And I almost can bet you that past pain of what was done to you is still impacting your ability to be happy in your relationships today. So that's the challenge for this week. Can you cut the raft? If you'd like some personal help with that, I do personal coaching. You take the book, we go through the book, and then I can make it relevant to what you're going through. And I loved it. That's hashtag COVID Silver Lining. When I was on my book and motivational speaking tour, I had no time to do personal coaching. And thanks to COVID, I now do. So I'm just filling up those spots now. And I love it. I love watching people cut their rafts so that they can be happy. Because that is what I'm on, that mission, Happy 88 mission. 8 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And if you've just tuned in, I'm going to go over to Instagram at 10:30, so you can catch it live again there, or you can just rewind, and you can get these on my YouTube channel. There's a playlist now with Mind Your Own Business. So every week we talk about some way that you can reclaim your happiness. And why 88% happiness and not 100? If you're 100% happy, you're dead. So we don't want dead people talking or dead people walking. It's important to have the contrast, but it's also important to take the anger, to take the justified anger and blame, and drop the rock, cut the raft, because you are worthy. You are important enough to be happy 88% of the time. 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. Double 8 is double good fortune. So that's your birthright. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have the best week ever. Please do tune in on Friday when I do my official show. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa on my CNBC NBC News Radio channel, KCKA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and on demand everywhere. 467th consecutive week on the air this week. So I am grateful and happy to continue to be your cheerleader. I'm your personal chauffeur on the joy ride of your life. And that's it. Oh, Asian Oprah giveaway. All those who listen to this get a free copy of my children's book. So this is called Mommy, What Are Feelings? And it helps especially parents who were not allowed to feel themselves and want to do better than their parents. That's our only job as parents, is to do better than our parents. Hurt people. So we're just healing that hurt. So this wonderful book, this is Mad, was illustrated by my beautiful daughters when they were 5 and 7. So if you go to drmarissa.life and put in the subject line Asian Oprah giveaway for Mind Your Own Business, you will get a copy of this. I'll send you the promo code so you can download it. All right. And that's it. Peace in, peace out. Oh, I'm doing, if you're living in Santa Monica, next week I'm doing a listening session. I'm facilitating a listening session for Asian American hate with the city of Santa Monica. That's something you might want to be part of if you live in the city of Santa Monica. As well, I'll be speaking at the end of this month for IVAT, the Institute for Violence, Abuse, and Trauma. And that's a great conference that happens in Hawaii, but we're doing it virtually. Second year in a row for me as keynote speaker, not being able to go to Hawaii, but that's okay. Not going to blame anybody. So that is, go to ivat.org for that. If you missed my shows on Stop Asian Hate with a great panel last week, we had Councilman John Lee, we had Connie Chung Jo from Advancing Justice, we had the APCON Coalition with Monza, we had, trying to remember, the KYCC staffer. I just lost his name for a second, but he's just lovely. All of those, you can watch that show. I had a very brave woman come on, talk about her own sexual assault by a priest the week before. So again, subscribe to my YouTube. It's a free subscribe, and you'll get those shows and my past interviews with Halle Berry or John Travolta. That's on my Red Carpet playlist. Thank you so much. I hope you have the best week ever. This is Dr. Marissa broadcasting live from the Ocean of Abundance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace.